I only have a few minutes and I need another glass of whiskey, so let's hurry up and dive in. I got a chance to snag Kunitsu-Gami Path of the Goddess on day 1 Game Pass, and the descriptor for this game on Xbox app reads as follows. Kunitsu-Gami Path of the Goddess is a unique Japanese-inspired single-player Kagura action strategy game. The game takes place on a mountain covered by defilement. During the day, purify the villages and prepare yourself for sundown. During the night, protect the maiden Yoshiro against the hordes of the Seath. Repeat the day and night cycle until you cleanse the mountain of defilement and return peace to the land. End quote. When I tell you that this is exactly and only exactly what this game is, I promise you that is one of the biggest compliments I could give. Okay, after a brief cinematic, you get placed into the embodiment of So, the maiden's spiritual guard that is helping her cleanse the defilement of a tarnished mountainside. That's the gist of the story, and there are quite a few cinematics in the game altogether, but really this game is more about sounds, moods, feelings, and overall atmosphere. This atmospheric templated background sets the tone for the gameplay in Kunitsu-Gami. The protein of this game is in its day and night cycle setup. You will enter a new area as So, with the maiden in tow ready to cleanse the defilement. You must first run about the area in the daytime to free villagers from their previous defiled state, but once the villagers are free, then they kind of fall in line to your direct orders and are ready to help protect the maiden and defeat the oncoming Seath. With time ticking, it's up to you to assign villager roles such as sumo, spearman, archer, woodcutter, and 8 other unlockable specialties that you can find out and are gained over the course of your trek down the mountain. This daytime part presents itself as a gather and defensive setup section of play. However, once nighttime hits, your time is completely up and you better hope you found enough villagers and set enough correct defenses to actually survive the night of bombardment from the evil Seath spirits. You can continuously assign villagers to flank positions through defensive battle, and you can also reassign roles to villagers, albeit for a price. So sometimes it takes you a couple of nights to roll through and cleanse the area depending on its size and if you can help move the maiden along quickly enough. This is part of the pressure the game puts on you as a player as it continues to mount deeper into the levels you go. I truly love this part of the game, and it absolutely leaves you asking yourself before the floodgates open, did I do enough? Along with the villagers, So as your main character is quite the immortal juggernaut. You can equip various movesets, special abilities, and fighting styles. You can also unlock ultimates and various ease of use commands on the battlefield. If So dies and the maiden is still alive, you move along the battlefield as a spirit with a time delay on revival. However, if the maiden dies and So is still alive, well, too bad. That's game over. Think of it like that awesomely awful Acolyte show when the homegirl Trinity cuts the connection off of the Wookiee and all those possessors died. Yeah, same shit. I truly think this game on a difficulty scale is ranging from not super difficult to well balanced. I had a few retries on levels and more than a handful of retries on certain bosses, but overall it was a very enjoyable experience, and truly some boss battles are quite memorable. Graphics, on the other hand, are not up to snuff in my humble opinion. That's not to say they're bad though. This game provides enough visual flair from cannon explosions to ultimate attacks that it doesn't need the graphics of a AAA title. This may all sound like a dig, but sometimes I truly wish other titles would have focused less on their graphics and definitely more on their gameplay. While graphics may not knock everyone out of the park, I assure you the music and sounds of Kunitsu-Gami are on a different level. You know that atmospheric feeling I was referring to earlier? That's almost wholly due to the stellar sound design of this title. I got almost no dialogue in my 20-hour runtime. It felt like I was playing an old school game with the right peerless focus on showing you a culture of unfamiliar territory, all the while it slowly absorbs in your brain space until eventually I found myself hearing the drums of battle beginning right before waking up the next morning and deciding to play another few hours of this very addictive game. Now, if you noticed, I didn't talk much in the gameplay section about the base management portion of the game. That's partially because I think it's kind of cumbersome and at times just flat out annoying. As an example, gathering wood for base upgrades just feels like extra padding for the sake of adding completion time to the game. It's unnecessary. In the same vein, I wish your character So would move a lot faster around the bases during these project management times, as having your character be so slow just makes you kind of ask if you want to deal with a base at all or just have fun and jump into another battle. I did almost every base upgrade, but as I felt the game ending, I kind of just thought, what's the point? Luckily, there's a new game plus option for those of you that choose to be base management completionists. So in conclusion, while there are a handful of quality of life changes I would have liked to have seen in Kunitsu-Gami Path of the Goddess, it all very clearly pales in comparison to the rich Japanese culture and game mechanics on display here. Kunitsu-Gami is still very much just a simple, the game takes place on a mountain covered by defilement. During the day, purify villages. During the night, protect the maiden from the Seath. And that, well, that's that. But to experience those very simple bullet points in game is where all of the magic comes together. As you finish fighting a boss and say to yourself, oh wow, that shit was awesome. I wonder what's in store for me down the rest of this mountain. I fully recommend Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess.